No prizes for guessing what is going on there. But just in case you want to confirm if your guess is right, then you need to sit down, pick a drink, put up your feet, and relax. Because the next 25 minutes promise to be an exciting time on today's episode of Tax Matters. My name is Olumuyiwa Matuluko. Last episode, we brought you an expose on self-assessment. Self-assessment for personal income tax filers and for companies' income tax filers. And we did promise that on today's episode of the program, we will be sharing with you the question and answer session that followed the paper presentations in our own bid to make sure that together we navigate the gray areas. Our sincere apologies, because that will not happen today. You see, like they say, when trees fall on trees in the forest, you begin to clear the field by removing the ones on top before you get to the bottom. Just as we are putting finishing touches to that episode of question and answer session on self-assessment, we got summoned to Abuja for two important events. Events that after we covered them, we decided that we could not wait to tell you the stories. The first one was the fourth meeting of the steering committee for the formation of the West African Tax Administration Forum. The second one, now your guess is right, was the send-off for Mrs. Ifueko Omoigui-Okauru, who you now know just completed her tour of duty at the Federal Revenue Service as the Executive Chairman. Welcome once again. The program is Tax Matters, and if you are just joining, you have not missed much, as we are just about to launch into our first story of the day. Date was Monday, June 25, 2012. Location was the ECOWAS Commission Secretariat in Asokoro, Abuja, and the event was the fourth in a series of meetings being held to fine-tune strategies towards establishing the West African Tax Administration Forum, WATAF. To underscore the importance which ECOWAS attaches to the emerging body and the role it is playing in its formation, the acting director of customs at the ECOWAS welcomed delegates to the meeting. Nigeria's coordinating minister of the economy and Honorable Federal Minister of Finance was unavoidably absent and was ably represented by the acting executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Mr. Osi Chuke, coordinating director, support services group at the FRS, welcomed delegates on behalf of the acting executive chairman and the FIRS.
This is the fourth meeting of the West African Tax Administration Forum. That's the WATAF. And I guess it's correct to say that the meeting has come back home since the very first chapter of it was held here in Abuja on the 12th of September 2011. The forum is the brainchild of the immediate past executive chairman of the FIRS, Mrs. Ifueko Omoigui-Okauru. And it's on account of that perhaps it's right to say it's the baby of the Federal Inland Revenue Service.
Mr. Chuke made an appeal.
We'll, however, use this opportunity to ask for continued support and to remind the Commission of the need for creating a department with responsibility for overseeing tax policy and administration issues in the sub-region.
As the coordinating Minister of the Economy and Honorable Minister of Finance Supervisor of the FRS, I must state that the participation of the FRS in the formation and activities of this forum had the full support and backing of the Ministry of Finance. To ECOWAS, let me say I am highly impressed by the lead role you have taken as the main regional body responsible for economic cooperation and integration in the region. For long, the region has been yearning for initiatives of this type, and we must therefore ensure that we harness the opportunity provided by the formation of WATAF. I urge that you take your deliberations at this meeting very seriously and see our work here as a major step towards improved regional economic collaboration and integration. I hereby declare the meeting open, and I wish you fruitful deliberations and a very positive outcome.
In separate interview sessions, Tax Matters sought to know more about the West African Tax Administration Forum. Please, can you give us a brief summary of the welcome address that you presented at the opening ceremony?
This day is a big day for ECOWAS because it is the first time for ECOWAS to organize an important meeting on taxation with all the ECOWAS countries. And we are happy because we have the opportunity to put all the ECOWAS countries together to discuss about taxation. And the main objective of our meeting is to establish a body, a regional body, I want to say kind of platform where the tax administration in West Africa can discuss and share experiences and how to improve their capacity. We still continue to encourage this kind of activity so that at the end of the day, the tax administration in West Africa will cooperate, will collaborate in the interest of the region and also in their own interests, with what I say in my speech.
How did this all begin?
The WATAF, the acronym for West African Tax Administration Forum, had its inaugural meeting right here in Abuja on 12th day of September 2011. It was as a result of initiative of our former executive chairman, Mrs. Ifueko Omoigui-Okauru, leveraging on the formation of African Administration Forum, which commenced maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. Our coach, of course, she played a very key role. But even beyond this ATAF and now WATAF at the regional level, going back in time, we used to have an association called ATA, Association of African Tax Administrators. And I remember Nigeria hosted a meeting of that body in 1982. But for one reason or the other, that particular continental body went into limbo. Given the pace of advancement in technology, in virtually every facet of economic life, it became necessary, therefore, that Africa should pick up the pieces. So having done so at the continental level, it was only natural that at the regional level we should also do something similar. One is to share experiences, as the theme of this meeting says, sharing experience of best practice among African countries, and in this particular instance, West African countries. Already you have a regional integration through the ECOWAS, and ECOWAS is also championing what they call tax harmonization in West Africa. If you talk about tax harmonization, not necessarily having a single tax administration, but also make it easy if you have one, harmonization of, the tax laws and regimes. It makes it easy now that we're talking about one region in terms of movement of people and goods. Then it will be smoother and easier. So these are all the the background to the formation of WATAF.
Why do you think it's necessary for a regional bloc like ECOWAS, that the countries involved in the ECOWAS region, to cooperate on tax policies, on custom policies?
Thank you very much. The issue of integration is basic to various groups. We know of the Union in Europe and various other ones coming on. Why? It's because they want to improve the standard of living. They want to collect as much taxes as possible and it's optimum, and ensure that we are able to share information between ourselves. So although we have national tax policy, we have a driving force to ensure that tax collection, assessment in the best position, you will know that nobody has a monopoly of knowledge. So it is crucial that we share experiences, we share best practices, we ensure that will help us to carry out our work. And the integration we're talking about will also move beyond the state in which we are today, in which case we can even have common VAT rates and those things that go along with it. Not just VAT alone, we're also talking about other aspects of tax administration. So we expect that in working together as a big group like West Africa, we are able to really synergize and expect our individual country practices to be improved by coming together.
What's the objective of all this?
The objective of coming together to form this forum, West African Tax Forum, is basically to be united, to be discussing and sharing experiences from each other with a view to improving our day-to-day activities in tax administration. And the ultimate is to improve on our revenue collection for the countries. And at the same time, when we become together and unite, we have other forums outside West Africa where we can be speaking with one voice when it comes to tax matters.
Can only wish the West African Tax Administration Forum the best of luck.
Chineke me, they don't increase my salary money. No be mistake. Oga accountant do so. Papa Junior, you never hear of Peter. Now the new MD be that. Talk now.
Peter, na Personal Income Tax Amendment Act, wey Mr. President just signed for law to better the life of him people, so them to go get more money to enjoy with them family. You see this amended act, they don't reduce the tax we do on top your salary money. They can't increase consolidated allowance money where we go to get every month. And you know, say, now the president will listen if you do better thing for the people.
Ah, Mr. President, you do well, oh. You be like say you dey think of me when you dey sign this bitter. Now I feel do boku things this year. I feel rent shop for Mama Junior, buy textbook for Junior, send money go village, make they take begin build my house.
So you say I'm the landlord?
Of course. Oh, you think so I call country for you? Peter, oh, Peter, hey, Peter.
JTB, creating a tax-friendly environment.
Welcome back. Talking about speaking with one voice, on Wednesday, the 27th of June 2012, the board, management and staff, and indeed numerous stakeholders came together with one voice to say thank you and fare thee well to a quintessential woman, Mrs. Ifueko Omoigui-Okauru, who, as you now know, on April 9, 2012, completed her tour of duty as Executive Chairman of Nigeria's Federal Inland Revenue Service after 8 years of meritorious service. The occasion was graced by the Coordinating Minister of the Economy and Honorable Federal Minister of Finance, Dr. Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala, who was ably represented by the Minister of State, Dr. Yerima Ngama. FRS board members, top management, staff, and family members of the Okaurus were in attendance to honor the woman of the moment.
We're here to celebrate an icon, someone who has made a serious difference in our nation, a lady, a woman of substance, a woman of very strong character, and may I dare say, a transformer.
It was a night of tributes, a night of testimonies that came in torrents.
We are sending off our leader, our sister, and our mentor. When the chairman came in, I was then the director of finance. I went to her and said, Chairman, you need to trust some people. What she told me 8 years back is still in my memory, that allegedly trust is earned. You have to earn that trust. You say, okay. I'm happy to say today that she has made so many friends, trusted ones for that matter. She has become a sister because we regard her as such. And we have learned, personally, I have learned a lot from her. The dedication to duty, thoroughness. She can go to any length to fight for Ila revenue. In fact, I nicknamed her Sarkin Yakin Ila revenue. Whenever we wanted something, we put her in front of us. She will go to any extent, to any length, to see that she gets result for Ila revenue.
We are here to celebrate success. We are here to celebrate hard work, humility, and dedication to job. She was a motivator. She directed us, she guided us effectively. On that note, I see her as one of the greatest Nigerians.
Everything she has done, everything she says, her words and her action are about integrity.
The very day we were going to be inaugurated into this board, and we were sat down waiting for the head of state that was going to inaugurate us. I moved near her, and I sat near her, and I whispered to her. You know what I said? I said, you have the courage to assemble this array of personalities. You small girl, what do you think you can? What do you think? How do you think you are going to manage them? And she laughed and said to me, it is in the interest of the service. I couldn't agree with her much more than that. In fact, she made a selection which I thought was one of the best. I have been here before. I know the type of board that I was saddled with. But in this case, I think she had the privilege of choosing those who she had carefully considered to be of use for the benefit of the FRS.
Madam, you made a lasting impact in the lives of so many of us. You achieved results, and you also motivated us. You left a dream that is indelible in our hearts, an aspiration or a standard that every one of us will constantly and consciously be working towards and praying to one day equate to it or become like that, or if peradventure, if possible, seek to surpass it.
She has a way of detecting talent. She wants you to exhibit your skills. I always call her my mentor because she does not do things because she knows you. You don't need to be her tribe before the executive chairman detects who actually you are.
Nigeria has an angel, and so we have no problem. We are looking forward to working with her in many other ways. Thank you very much.
I don't know whether we're happy today or we are sad, because Ifueko is one lady that has done a lot to change the way Federal Revenue Service operates. And even now, we still need to do more to collect all the collectible taxes. But at least she has taken the Federal Revenue Service to a level that everybody will say she has done very well.
And of course, prayers.
And it is all our prayer that your future endeavor, the Almighty God is going to sanctify and sanction them from above. And your family will be totally, completely protected by the power of the Almighty God.
and overwhelmed Mrs. Omoigui-Okauru responded in this way.
You know, sometimes we take certain things for granted. But one thing I know today has also taught me is never to take for granted the ability to be recognized by your own board, management, staff, by your own ministry, by your own country. And I say thank you very much. A lot of what has been said about me is really about you, the FRS family. When I started in May 2004, I came just by myself. I didn't come with anybody else. I didn't come with a special assistant. I didn't come with anybody. And when I left April 9th, 2012, I also left with my bag. So anything that happened between May 2004 and April 2012 was really done by all of you. All I did was to provide direction, and we all worked together to make it happen. And so when people talk about what I have achieved, I correct them, it's what we have achieved. My plea and my belief is that this spirit of working together may strengthen and continue, because I really have just left a larger team, and that larger team is what is the organization. I'm just one of many.
Mrs. Okauru also paid glowing tributes to her predecessors and all the 3 heads of state that she served.
And really the best gift, ultimately, not just for me, but all my predecessors who have contributed in their own way to where we are today. Chief Olorunleke, Balama Manu are here representing those predecessors. We also have Nayeju, we have Zukogi. We have many more right from the very start. Last but not the least, or perhaps not even the last, the stakeholders who have made my stay worthwhile are too many to mention. From the media, the taxpayers, I'd like to thank the National Assembly, the Ministry of Finance, the members of the Federal Executive Council, all of the other institutions, some of whom are here represented today, the EFCC, the Nigerian police, were very, very strong allies during my tenure. But most importantly, I'd like to thank the presidents that I served. Many of you do not know, and it's a very unique opportunity to be given the free hand to choose your own board. Starting with Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, not just did he give us that freedom of reforming the institution the way we want, he actually told me who will make the board to make us get the reform that we want. So it fell on me. When he transited to Alhaji Umar Yar'Adua, he did exactly the same thing. And so the strong board that we have here today was not a political board. It was a board driven by the need to really place the service at the height of where it could be. I'd also like to thank our president, Dr. Ebele Jonathan, for the tremendous support that he gave throughout. And those of you who listened to him on the last day, my last working day, will tell you indeed that I couldn't have been more blessed with Mr. President. Again, one should never take for granted, but that's a speech that I would take to my grave. The words of encouragement and the words of support.
What a way to recognize and celebrate achievement, superlative achievement. And if you place that against the background of the volatility of this environment, 8 years at the top, at the headship of an organization like the FRS is no mean feat. Madam, kudos, more grease to your elbows. Don't go away just yet. Nigeria still needs you. But we have to go away, dear viewers, only to return next week. Same day of the week, same time of the day, on this same station for a fresh episode of Tax Matters. Until then, be good. Put a smile on other people's faces. Thank you for watching.